Yo, what's up, Vagabond family? This is Soju, and it's been a while. I apologize for that, but do I have the story for you guys? So right now, I'm on Yeongju Island, and I need to explain how the fuck I got here in the middle of the year, in the middle of my contract with this guy. And so please sit down, get your drink, and it's story time. I don't do story times, but I've got story for days. Aslalin pants is called.
So the first question is, what the fuck are you doing here?
What the fuck am I doing on this island? Please pan for the people so they can see that I'm on an actual island. Like, kacha.
How?
So first things first, this is pretty cool. All the vagabonds now live on an island that belongs to the Republic of Korea. Shout out. Bam, 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 bam. So we all live on islands. If you didn't know this fun fact, when we all applied, the three of us, Usabi, Yeongju, Wase Korea, we applied at the same time, and the intention was for us to all go to the same place. Them two got sent to Jeju Island. I got sent to Emma Famu. You don't even want to know. In Korea, Korea, I got sent to Emma Famu, but then I did the things because I am who I am. I did the connections because I am who I am, and I know who I know. Shout out to me, and I ended up here on this island. So let's talk about how I got here. So let's see. Last year, I think it was around November. So November 2020, I was living in the Gyeongsangbuk-do province, and we all got a blast email from the Office of Education from the Gyeongsangbuk-do province saying, "Hey, listen up. There is a spot available on Yeongju Island, which is part of our province, and we opening up the spots to people that live and currently teach in Gyeongbuk province." So I was like, yes, sharp, sign me up. It's an island, you know. Then the Office of Education, they emailed me back and they're like, yo, dude, I see that you're interested. This is good. The catch is that you can only live on this island with one other person, because it's a very remote island and we don't allow people to live here alone. So you need to come with a friend. So I was like, okay, sharp, cool, no problem. I know a lot of people. So I contacted a couple of friends that lived in the province, that were teaching in the province. I'm like, yo guys, this is island that's opened up, let's go. No one was interested. I did have one friend that was interested, but they did not live in the province. I contacted the office. I'm like, yo, I do have a friend. They live, I think they were teaching in Seoul at the time. And they were like, no, it needs to be someone from the province. I was like, okay, well, if no one is interested, I do have a friend that's back home in South Africa right now, and he's currently applying to come through to South Korea. And they're like, really? He's like, yeah, what's his name? So I told them the name. They were like, okay, hang on a minute. They checked. They're like, oh yeah, yes, we see his name is in the system. We haven't assigned him anywhere. So I'm like, okay, sharp, assign him to the island. Then Tina will come to the island and fuck shit up. I didn't say this because these are my employers. So I was like, yeah, assign him to the island. And they're like, are you sure? I'm like, yeah, I'm sure. Are you sure? They're like, okay, sharp. And so yeah, that's what happened. They're like, okay, well, if everything goes well, by February 2021, the both of you will come to the island. You're already in South Korea. This is actually good. You'll be able to orientate him and everything, and half the admin is done. Sharp, not a problem. And we were excited and amped, and I was planning everything. Yeah. So, sorry about that. Yeah, so a week or 2 weeks before Sbu was supposed to fly out, was it the government of Korea?
Yeah.
They sent out this edict saying that anybody that's flying in from the United Kingdom or South Africa will not be allowed to fly in, you know, because they had Corona 2.0 or some fancy shit. And at the time, the world media was calling it the South African variant, which is some bullshit. And a lot of people's lives were ruined because of that. Like, I mean, like, not just South Korea. People were trying to go to other countries to do the same thing that, you know, Usbu was doing to come and teach in Asia. Couldn't do that, and so they basically said, listen, we're not allowing anybody from these two countries to fly in. Long story short, literally a week before he couldn't fly in. So I was bummed. I was like, what the fuck? He was bummed as well, and they were actually, in addition to that, so we came in February 2020. There was a group that was supposed to come in March 2020, like a month before us, a month after us. They couldn't, because of the whole corona situation. Blah, blah, blah. Basically, they said the offer's still available, and we're just gonna wait for him to come. So I'm like, okay, cool. So then I asked, like, can I just come to the island, by myself, at least for the first 6 months, and then he can join me later in August 2020? And they're like, no, there needs to be the two of you. I'm like, okay, sure, whatever. So then they're like, the position is yours. We're gonna wait for you two. So for the first 6 months, there aren't gonna be any foreign English teachers on the island. This entire island has 1 high school, 1 middle school, 5 elementary schools.
6 elementary schools.
6 elementary schools, but we only deal with 5.
5, yeah.
So elementary school is grade 1, actually grade 000, so crash to grade 6. Middle school is from grade 7 to grade 9. High school is from grade 10 to 12. So they're like, you need to wait. I'm like, flip. Okay. Waited for the whole 6 months, and eventually in August, the borders opened, and he already had his vaccine shot. So they were like, okay, cool, this guy's vaccinated from South Africa. Let's bring him in. So yeah, we've been here a grand total of 2 weeks?
What? It's not even 2 weeks.
Not even 2 weeks. It's like a week and a half.
It's a week and a half, yeah.
This is the second weekend, but yeah, I'd say about a week and a half. And yeah, it's really, really good. We're loving it, and we're just trying to do as much as possible outdoors
before winter
comes, because like winter is coming and the dead with it.
You just had to.
Winter is coming and the dead with it. So yeah. So that's how we're here on this island.
Yeah. And how was life in Yeongju?
How's life in Yeongju? Hey, Buffett. Life in Yeongju, when I first got there, was rough. So let me tell you, it's story time. Refill your drinks. So I get there. Okay, we did our orientation. Our orientation was beautiful. Loved it. Made some beautiful friends. After orientation, we get shipped off to the Office of Education in Gyeongbuk, and that's where we're going to meet our co-teachers. So because it's me, lo and behold, my co-teacher came late as fuck. Other people had already left. They do a debriefing. This is our province, this is where you're going. You sign your official contract again, the one that's actually going to be lodged in with the department, and then from that point onwards, you're considered a government employee. Like officially, even though they knew that you were coming. And then you meet your co-teacher or your handler, and they're supposed to take you to your apartment, and you start work the very following week. My guy shows up late. Like, I think I was the second last person to leave. So I'm standing there with my 2 suitcases in a horrible jersey, and I just look tired, and it's still cold and all of the things. And he eventually shows up. He speaks English, but hey, not a lot, so we're like, bro. So I'm a little pissed off that this guy shows up late. We drive, and all I'm seeing is open fields, rice fields, hay, all of that, a couple of cows here and there, chickens. Nje. I'm like, yes.
What?
Where the fuck am I going? Where am I going? I'm like, I nothing too late. Like, maybe this is the dodge part of the country. I'm still going to the nice part. Like, you have to go through this part to get to the part where we're going. No, this is the way we're going. In my farm. I'm like, yeah, right now. But okay, we go through all of that. Finally get into Yeongju. Anyway, get to we didn't go to the apartment. He took me to a restaurant, so it was pretty late. It was around like 5 p.m. situation. I see there, we have food, and then he's like, okay, we're gonna go to your apartment. I'm like, okay, cool, let's do that. Get to the apartment. This motherfucker opens the door and there's no bed. There's no nothing. There's no nothing. I call Luto in my apartment. My apartment is empty. The only thing that was there was the washing machine and the stove.
And the fridge.
And the fridge. Because it came with the apartment. Nothing else. So I'm like, yo, dude, where's the bed? And he's like, oh, no, the bed. The thing is, I ordered your bed and we delivered it, but it went to the wrong apartment because we were going to get you a different apartment. I got you this apartment instead. And now, guys, this apartment, yeah, man, like, you can tell la. Udlala, poshala, ukezala, upegala, you can tell la. You can tell la. I'm like, how about it? First world country, why in the space? Like, you know, so I was pretty miffed about the apartment. So my first night in South Korea, I slept on the floor. And yeah, he took me to the supermarket, which I lived right behind the Home Plus. I bought a blanket, toilet paper, orange juice, a dingy pot, a dingy tin pot, and yeah, and a pillow. And that was me on the floor. And then yeah, guy fucks off, he leaves. And he's like, okay, I'll see you in 2 or 3 days. I'm not a cell phone that works. Let me tell you about my cell phone. Guys, give figure South Korea. Here, me, I was poor, bro. I didn't have money. I didn't have shit. I was in debt. I came in Korea to solve my debt. The cell phone that I had was a little Alcatel. Was it an Alcatel? It was an Alcatel. Yeah. Android, because I was trying to be fancy. Alcatel, but it's got the only Android. It was the Alcatel, and the battery was shit. You know what I had to do to preserve a battery? I'd had to take out a battery and then put it back in, and I get like 20-30% more battery, you know. Now, in South Africa, this is ghetto. But in Korea, not only is it ghetto, it's dangerous because you use your cell phone to get everywhere. Like if you're trying to go to the mall or the shop or work, you need to use the app, which will tell you which bus to take so that you can get there on time. And if you live in the big cities where they have the subway, your app will tell you that. So yeah, me, I struggled, bro.
No poverty.
No poverty, bro. And those first few months, that was bad, bro. Like I mean, I had, I was in so much debt. They advised that you bring like around 10,000 randi. I know I didn't have 10,000, and this money needed to last me for the whole month. Me, I was eating 2 noodles every day until payday. Now, for you guys that went to university and you experienced this in res, sharp, do you boo-boo? But me, I lived at home during university. So me, I had a full plate of food, 3-course meals, and my washing was done because my house was here. University, I walked 10 minutes. Gilabe Howard, UKZN. Shout out to UKZN Howard College. So I didn't have these struggles. Now all of a sudden, finding my noodles every day, not by choice. Yeah, what the fuck? So in Korea, you need your ARC card. ARC is like your ID card. Without this thing, you can't do things like get a cell phone, bank account, all the things. Now, normal co-teachers, what they will do for you is that they will take you, they'll say, okay, they'll come and like, tomorrow I will pick you up, we'll go to the office, the foreign Banban office, whatever the hell it's called, and, bring your passport, bring your forms, bring your documents, and we'll sign you up. Not this guy. This was at the height of Corona. My immigration office was in Daegu. Daegu was at the time the Wuhan of Korea. Like Corona spread in 2 places in the world. It was in Wuhan, China, that's a Daegu, like Korea, but it only in whatever. So I had to go to Daegu. So this guy was like, fuck that, I'm not risking that shit. He wrote a letter for me in Korean, okay? And he's like, here are all the instructions for the immigration officer. All you need to do is show this to this immigration officer. Then I'm like, okay, sharp, where's the immigration office? And he's like, oh, it's in Daegu. In my mind, I don't know. This place is like 2 hours, 2.5 hours away. No, 2 hours away. Mind you, I've been in this country less than a week. I have to go to Daegu with my Nonkroi cell phone. If I can operate the app so I can go to Daegu immigration office, finally get there. Then I get there, don't speak a lick of Korean. Obviously, I still don't. These guys, most of them don't speak English. I show them the letter. He reads the letter, looks at me, looks at the letter, looks at me, looks at the letter, sharp. Then he starts gesturing. So I'm like, okay, he must be saying, give me your passport. What else could he be saying? He must be saying, give me your money. Like, I'm guessing. I do that, sharp. Yeah, that was it. Then I had to go home. Same process, you know. Like, this was probably like day 3 of me being in South Korea. Like, guys, listen. I think I'm scaring you guys. When you come here, this doesn't happen to everybody. As I wipe my sweat. This doesn't happen to everybody. I just got the bad draw of the card, you know. Most people, they're like, yo, like, baby, yo, wada. Then I had to set up my cell phone, same situation. Then I had to set up my bank account. I was by myself. Like, this guy had time for... Didn't speak English. The only time he had perfect English was to tell me that, you need to go to this office. I'm not going to go because Corona. Like, he said that in perfect English. But then when it was other shit, this motherfucker all of a sudden couldn't speak. I'm like, yeah,
The snails.
yeah, I was going back. It was bad. But I think props to how I was raised and props to my mom. Like, without going into too much detail, I was the kid that was always away from home, boarding school. I never actually lived at home as a kid. Like, I was just always away. Most of it was boarding school, or sometimes I would live with family members, but like distant family members or other relatives, not distant family members, just other relatives, not at home. And so, yeah, so I was used to this kind of setup. The only thing that was weird is that I'm in a place where people don't look like me and they don't speak the same language. But other than that, I was able to find my own way, and I kind of figured it out. It was an adventure. It was good. It was great. I found a family of South Africans in Yeongju, which was a complete and total surprise. Beautiful people, lovely people to the core. Mletisi, shout out to you. Nicole, shout out to you. Enke, shout out to you. Dobego, shout out to you. Pearl, shout out to you. It was just like I just walked in through shout out to you. I just walked into this community of South Africans. At one point, there was like 7 South Africans in Yeongju, which is like unheard of. And you know, South Africans, when we get together, kwar. Then, God bless the Korean government. Because these guys, this was, remember, height of Corona, March, April, May. The March, they were like, no one's going to work because Corona, so you need to stay home. Sharp. The whole of March, we stayed home. They paid us our full salary. I'm like, Mzanga. April, we stayed home. Didn't go to work. They still paid us our full salary. I'm like, yeah, it's like... and then like halfway through May, we didn't work halfway through May, but eventually we did go to work. They still paid us our full salary. I was like, what the fuck? Why didn't I come to this country soon? I was like, breath of fresh air, was able to sort out my debts, and first thing I bought... And then I bought was my cell phone. Because I'm like, yes, sis. So I bought my cell phone because I'm like, no, man, can't do that. Did the things back home. Mailing pressure, I'm feeling pressure corner. Like I said, I had a lot of debt coming through here, so I was able to sort that out. And all within the space of like 2-3 months. And then I was able to start my life. And it's raining. Almost. We're in the clouds. But I'm almost done. And so it's just been really great. Spoo is settling in well as well. And we just want to explore this island. So, yeah. I don't know. What other questions do you have?
No, I feel like that's it.
No, it's not. Is that?
Because it's about to rain.
It's not,
I
it's
think everyone can
drizzling.
see it.
No, come on.
It's about to rain, and we have to go
No, we don't have to go.
all the way up there. That's where we have to go.
He's lying to you. Don't lie to the people. Why are you lying to the people on a public platform?
But yeah,
Yeah.